So, what we discussed? We discussed about the activities related to Excel and workbook, correct? And we have seen different activities under these two packages. Under Excel, okay, and and workbook. Friends, one request from my end. Tomorrow I am going to start new batch at 8 o'clock. So that batch is a fast track. So it is only 1 month. So if you are in like now, if you have any friends to learn, you want to learn UA path, please refer. 8 to 9 every day, 1 hour. It is only 30 hours. So we are talking about some what is that, like now we talked about Excel activities, and we talked about macros, and how to create a pivot table, and create a table and then get the table range. Okay, so all these features we talked about. And so there are some control, there are some activities which we will use in regular our automations, that means daily, whenever you are working on a real time projects. That is some controls, like, so we have seen if activity, okay, and else if activity. Then for each activity we have seen. The similar way we have some activities like switch. What is the purpose of using switch? So why do we use it? How do we use it? Switch is nothing but, see, I would like to execute some of the activities. For example, in our college, so for example, we got results. Okay, and whenever we got the result, so we would like to see, usually our principals or HR department will display some of the results, these members are passed, okay, and these people got this much percentage, okay, all these things, so in order to do like that or otherwise. So for example, I will like to know for each and in our college there are different departments, IT, CSC, and then mechanical, civil, all there are different branches. So we would like to know that for each and every branch, so how many candidates are there, or if out of that, how many of them are passed and how many of them are failed, for each and every department, like that. So we can use switch. That means that in order to execute multiple activity at the same time, based on the condition satisfied, so we will use switch. So you want to know So there will be multiple choices. So enable to select one choice out of multiple based on the value of a specified expression. So that is like now see, if you want to execute one choice, so if there are that's what, so if you want to know, like now for example CSE department, like now, so when the results comes, how many of them are passed, how many of them are failed, okay, what is the percentage of pass percentage and what is the fail percentage, or so you see it is not only one case, like now we can use it for different cases as well. That's what like now for that we will use switch activity. Okay, that is, so I would like to tell. So here by default it is a type of what all the inputs are required. So the expression and then type argument. So what kind of data you are going to pass. So here the mandatory field is expression. For example, I will define department. Okay, it's a, so let us select and browser for type list. So collections dot generic of list. So it is a string. So new list of string from okay. So here CS IT. I don't know, man, I am not from BTech background. Chronicle. Civil. Easy. Okay, so here, so what is the type argument? Here the type argument is string. Okay, so enter the expression. So what is the expression? So expression is nothing but a condition. If you met this condition, then only like based on that it will execute it. Okay, so in order to use switch case expression, here it is, departments dot for each. So here it is, departments. So inside the body, so I use this one. So here the expression is item dot so here type argument is string. So item, and then so here, so the syntax of switch case is switch. So we have to write an expression. Expression is nothing but a condition. Okay, and then add new case. Just click on this. What is this case value? Okay, so this case value is, it is a CS. Okay, and see, I'm just simply I'm using this. So item dot so add new case. Item dot CS, then civil. Okay, so execute something. So that is what. So execute uh, so if it is a easy, So like that we can add. Okay, so that is what. So like no, it is according to your requirement. You have to write like this. And the default case. So that means like no, if there is no value, then for example, like no, if whatever the value we provide, if that value does not exist in the list, so then it will like no execute default case. Okay, so for example, in our program we have defined some departments. What is that? CS, IT, and then EC, so mechanical, and then civil. So there are some department like electronics, Triple E, and aeronautical, and navy. So there are a lot of departments, right? So if those departments I did not mention, then that case, what are the value like no, it doesn't match, then it will go to default case. Okay, that is the value of default. So here I am giving the value item dot equals EC. Okay, so it accepts only string. Okay, it is not accepting. Now run, we'll see. So it will not where we are. So it is executed all the conditions. So because item will have what is that? So item will have all the departments, right? Like mechanical, civil, EC we gave. That's why we got this a result. So it go on executed all. So I told, right? So if we did not mention what is that, the other like no, mechanical, so if the case is not executed, then it will go to default case and it will write that. Okay, so this is how that means that what is that switch case will work. So if you want to execute, so I have lot of criteria to check, but you want to execute one by one criteria and get the result. So for that we will use switch. Okay, and so we have one more activity called while. So there are some control flows. Okay, workflow of type control. So what is while and do while? See, this is also important in interview. This is one of the interview question. What is the different? What is while? So while also works like a for each. That means executing some of the actions or the items in the executing some of the items in list or collection. So what the while does, first it will check the condition. If the condition matches, then it will go and execute the body. So then what is the difference of if? Correct, right? If also same, right? If also will execute, but when it comes to while, for example, so I'm taking some int data. So this is departments of 0 dot equals to CS. So now see, I'm not creating any thing, I'm just making use of. So if the department of 0, that means the first value of this list equal to this one, then execute some okay. So while loop, just run it. I will tell you. See, that is the beauty of while loop. See, how many times we provided one condition? I provided only one condition, which is department of 0 equals to 0. That means the first value of this list is equal to CS, then it will execute. So after that, I did not provide any I did not tell the system to execute, but it's a keep on, it will execute, so it will not stop. That means while loop, that is the difference of if and while. So if I put a condition under if, it will execute only one time and it will come out of that. That means, so only one value we supplied, and here also we supplied only one value. Then the difference is, in while loop, it will loop number of times without providing any, see, without my knowledge, without providing any input data, So we like no, I did not tell that like no, you can just execute this many times. I just put the condition over here. If it is matches, so how many times it will match? It will match only one time because only one value is matched with that. Then why it is executing this? That is why. So how do you restrict it? So for that, so whenever we match the condition, see why we will use while loop is whenever, see there are a lot of like no values are there, correct? So whenever we would like to match a particular value with a specified condition, and I don't want to execute it. I just it has to come out of that and like no make some, or I like no execute some of the activities out of that. So for that we will use break. Okay. So what is the break? What are the, see break, there is no input we are providing. Sorry. So after this break, I will tell you the some example which is very useful in interview point of. So where is the while loop is ending? So this is the while loop. It is ending in this one. Take this out and put it over here. Out of while. So I use break over here. Now execute it. So the control directly comes out of while loop only. Hey. Oh, sorry. Okay. See now control goes and executed this and break, so then comes out of that. So whenever we provide a break, that means, see whenever the condition met, I don't want to execute it. I have to come out of this and execute some of the like no sequence activities. Some continuous activities needs to be executed. So that is my like no requirement. So in that case, see break is nothing but the control immediately will come out of while loop. Okay, wherever we are using, it will come out of that loop itself. And there is one more activity called continue. Okay, what it does, what is the difference between continue and here also there is no input, we are not there is no input is required. Input doesn't require to execute continue activity. Mm, after continue. Okay, so inside, oh, it is continuously executing that loop. So continue means, so continuously it is executing it. So without using continue, if I did not put any break, so it will continuously execute the loop. I do one thing, break. So after break, I will use continue. Okay, so now we will see how it will execute. So after the break, whatever the activities we define, those activities will not execute. So directly it will come out of this, out of the while loop, and it will execute the activities. So even after the break, whatever you define, it will not execute. So there is no need to use anything. Continue is, if you want to continuously execute something, okay, so what I do that, I will use continue over here, and I use if activity over here after continue. So otherwise come over here. So I will provide one condition, department, okay, zero contains of civil mechanical, what are the values are there, CSIT, civil mechanical, EC uh, triple E, triple E, then so I will use continue, else break. Now I have like now interchange the like now what is that, these activities, because anyway so we do not have that triple E, right? So now it came to continuous statement, and when you give continue, so it will execute from entire while loop. So in order to show, okay, so it will be continuously execute, and like now it going for a, we can call it as a infinite loop. But that is the reason like now so we will put condition. If the condition met, then only, otherwise we don't want to execute that one. Okay, so this is while. So we have one more called do while. So this is reverse in the sense how it works. So first it will execute the body, and then it will check the condition. That is the difference. So when go with the while loop, so first it will check the condition and then execute the body. So when it goes to do while, so first it will execute the body. So what are the activities you define? Those activities will execute, and then it will check the condition. So do one like if some of the cases where like now I want to execute something, and like no and then only I need to check the condition. So in that case we will use do while. And some of the cases where I would like to first satisfy the condition, and if you like to execute some of the value, so for that we will use while loop. Okay, so I will tell you one more. For each, okay, in for each so here it is departments and item. So this is string, so here it is I use some if, item dot equals to item is I'm just like no we will check whether if I give the condition like this it will execute or not. So this is for each loop where it is ending, so it is ending here. So ending over here means there is no value. For each, the item is inside, right? Okay. So here outside for loop. So it will not, so is not working. Item is not argument condition processing expression item is not. So if I use equal, see I am trying to show you what are the variable types we can able to use. Double equal, because it is a string. Item dot toString equal to double E. So it is not. So equal is nothing but assigning a value to the variable. Okay. Toggle breakpoint. So that means that we are debugging whether this condition is execute inside, it is going inside or not. So how we will check it? Item dot to string. So what is the value? CS. So item dot to string equal to something triple E. So here the expression is invalid. I would like to tell this is the, so what is the like now if I give, because see I know friends, like now most of the people are, you people are from mechanical, and some of them are like no, someday are civil or something, like no different backgrounds. So E people doesn't know these things and all, right? So what is the difference between equal, double equal? Okay, so that is the reason I'm showing all these things. See, do not like no normal batches. I won't teach all these things, because here there are some people like Bhavani, Mahesh, and Rashek. So those people are my close relatives. So I have to teach, because they are came from different background. So here, so whenever it is a string, so we have to use equals. Okay, equals of, what do you say? What do you like now here? Triple E. So then, see now. So item dot. See why I am telling this, no? See, for example, some people in interview they ask you that. So item equal to, or item equal to something, some value they will give. Some value in the sense string value, not the integer value. So if item equal to this one, like no, if it is the integer data type, it will like no accept the condition. That means integers are, there is no what is that? It's not a string, right? So equal is nothing but it applies to integer type of data, or like no other than strings it will be. But when we go to the strings, we have to use equal or not equals. Okay. So item dot equals of string. So here we will get either true or false. We were like no, see the previous condition we got what is that? It is a invalid expression. But when it comes to, when I put equal, so we got true or false. So string comparison. Those people also telling the same. So in order to compare the two strings, we have to use equals. So this one you have to remember. That's what, like, no, see, my intention was like, no, if interviewer always asks this, like, no, the basics only. They will not ask, like, no, how to do this, how to like, no, do that and all, because they have to test it whether you know programming language or not. Hmm? Mm, okay. So I am expecting, what is it? So is there any thing available in docs.uapath.com, not in the forums? Okay. So this is the one. Because it is not at all, but it has to show, it has to throw an exception, right? I removed it. So how do you debug it? So if you want to execute step by step, how do you do that? So here, like, now from which activity we would like, right click and select a toggle breakpoint. Okay, and then whenever the control comes to here to execute, so here under debug you have to use step into. Okay, so there are three types of debugging options. Step into is nothing but it will execute each and every activity, and step over means what it does. This is also very important. In, like, no, while working on that, like, no, you want to debug your code, like, no, in order to know where the exact error comes. So step over, see, step into we know, right? Because every time we are executing the step into only. So now step over, what it does, step over means it will execute entire this one time. So it will not go into inside the else or then block. Okay, so that is the one of the difference between step into and step over. And then step out, see, it comes out of this if loop, so it go ahead by the another, see, before the control is into only under this if, now the control moves to on top of that body. That is step out. See, it will step out of that control. That is step out. Step over means it will come out of this. It will not see, it will execute, but the control will not move inside it and execute each and every activity. That is the difference. Okay. So this is also you will get an interview question as one of the interview question, like what are the differences between step into, step over and step out. So for each and every time it will execute. So inside whatever is there it execute, but we don't know. That means the control will not move and execute each and every step. So it will execute internal to the system, and we get the result out of that. The end result is same. So do not confuse with if I use step in, so I will get the one result, and if I go for step over, I will get another result, and if I go for step out, I will get another result. See, the result will not change. The only the difference in the execution. That means how each and every activity will go and execute the step. So step into we will use it for. See, if you are unable to know that where the exact error we got, so then we will go debug and each and every action and identify that. Okay. So in order to get the result fast, rather than going each and every activity and execute and see that, we will use step out. So we want we will ask control directly come over here. See, after this it will execute, it will come here only, because we are under the last part of that loop, right? So it will come and execute this one. So that is the difference. Okay. That's all about. See. So today we talk some concepts like step into, debugging options, as well as, so these I forgot to teach do while loop, continue and break, what is the differences, and then when to use switch case. Okay. So in the switch case we will use different expressions based on the our requirement. Maybe we can use strings or integers or different parts of variable types. That's all, friends, for today. So tomorrow we will start data table activities. We supposed to start today, but we should know the basics means first. So that means when you are familiar with the basics, nobody you don't need to worry about the remaining things. You will get anywhere else. Okay. Thank you. Any doubts? Is that concept